Hello, gamers. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I think my audio... Yeah, audio looks good. YouTube music is running. We'll get that on a shuffle. Beautiful. Alright. Live on both ends. Amazing. Welcome in, everybody. Weird schedule this week for streams, but getting 3 streams in nonetheless. Hope everybody's doing well. It's a later start than we're used to. An 8 p.m. start is not typical for me, but I figured we need to get a stream in today because if I'm looking at my schedule, I am literally busy all day tomorrow. And that's not an exaggeration. I am literally busy all day tomorrow. I work Wednesday, and then my Thursday nights are freed up again. For now they're temporarily freed up. So I want to start getting streams in on Thursdays, and then our typical Kaizo stream on Friday. Let me just quickly go through what our schedule looks like, and I'm gonna replace this because this is an older image. I'm gonna replace it with the newest schedule. Schedule this week is REGI Steel, which we are doing tonight. And then we have 1 p.m. streams planned for Thursday and Friday. Thursday, we are going to start with Winnie the Pooh Home Run Derby. And then later into the night, once I've lost steam and am no longer able to endure the wrath of Christopher Robin and Owl, we will switch over to Kaizo Ironmon. And then we will carry that Kaizo Ironmon. Hopefully we find a run. That would actually be really cool. Hopefully we can carry that run into Friday, starting at 1 p.m. as well. And that'll be the streams for the week. Following this week, I need to switch to the next month. Next month, I have work shifts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so then it's going to end up being probably a Sunday stream and then a Kaizo, and then we'll see what else we can fit in based on that schedule. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Like the music volume just a tad. So yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Without further ado, this is a REGI hunt, so we will get right into it. We're going to try to get our 625 encounters in, or because we did one extra at the end of last stream, we will do 624 attempts, which will go past midnight, but I am all right with that. I'm okay with the stream going a little late, starting a little late, and then going much later. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Chosen, welcome in. We're playing to midnight? Yes, sir. This is the only time I could make work with my schedule this week, and I wanted to make sure I got the 3rd stream in. So here we are. So yeah, we'll be going late tonight. I will keep y'all entertained until you need to go to bed. That is the plan tonight. And who knows, maybe we'll find a shiny REGI Steel and we can do something else. Or we can go to bed early, who knows. But yeah, Chosen, hope you're doing well. Bold to assume I'm going to bed before then. Hey, you never know, you never know. But yeah, going past midnight tonight, I will see where I can eat food at some point tonight, but I also had a really big icy at the movie today, so I am quite alright not eating anything else for a bit. Hope you're doing well as well. Thank you, Chosen. D-Tumbo, welcome in. here's our palindrome Reggie Steele coming up. Alright, the next palindrome will be 5,115. But yeah, me and my roommate went and saw Godzilla -1 in theaters again. Because the movie has been out for a really long time. In fact, it already won Best Visual Effects at not even this most recent Oscars, like the last Oscars, so like the previous Oscars. Very good movie. It's a Godzilla monster movie, but with good plot. Yeah, it was showing in theaters for a little bit. My roommate suggested to go see it. Went and saw it again. Still slaps. Because the sequel to it, Godzilla -0, is coming out this summer. So, excited for that to come out. It's been tougher to do the Winnie the Pooh Home Run Derby hunt recently because I've redeveloped an eye twitch in my right eye again. Where, like, I think if I just, like, squint hard enough, or if, like, anything revolving around my eye, even if I, like, rub my eye for a little bit, it'll just, like, start twitching for a little bit. And it just becomes very noticeable when you're doing speedruns. Especially with something as intensive as, like, Winnie the Pooh Home Run Derby, where you need to be able to make split-second decisions. So it's been tougher to speedrun it lately. I am going to try on Thursday, though. We're going to start stream with it and see how it goes. I don't want to commit a full stream to it. At least not yet. But yeah, I remember the last time that I, like, was seriously speedrunning Winnie the Pooh Home Run Derby. Not this, like, most recent session, but, like, maybe, like, a year ago. At least it felt like a year ago. That was the last time I had, like, that eye twitch. So I'm wondering if there's, like, a correlation to it. I feel like it could also be just, like, the caffeine intake, which could definitely be a factor. Caffeine intake or, like, screen time. I feel like both of those are factors. Sleep schedule is another one. So, you never know. Chosen, how goes the hunt? How goes the shiny hunt? Any... What's the number at now if it's still going? Very over odds. Understandable. The bigger the number gets, the more rewarding it's going to be when it's done. 10,276. Wow. About halfway to that. Nearly halfway. Yeah, no shiny period is insane too. Because what's the chance of encountering for the Nidoran? %, yeah. I assume there's no like repel trick you can do or anything. But even then, like, if you're early in the game, it's not worth it to even spend money on repels. Counters are Nidoran, Drowsy, Yanma, Abra, Ditto, and Pidgey. Day, Hoot Hoot, Night. Okay. I feel like you still got like a couple good encounters in there too. Like a shiny Yanma would be really cool. And then like Ditto would be a fun one as well. Even Drowsy would be a fun one. Yeah, lots of encounters. % encounter rate, and I wouldn't be mad about it. Or Drowsy. I don't want Abra, but I'd accept it. I don't need or want Pidgey, so help me God. If I'm at night and get another Hoot Hoot, oh my God. Yeah, that'd be rough. I don't mind the shiny Hoot Hoot. I think I would prefer that over the Pidgey line for sure. I'll slow down a bit once I hit 10k, but I'll probably ramp up again this week. Hell yeah. The ramp ups are always the point where I feel like progress is made. Because I can't remember the last time I like had a hunt that was ongoing that I came back to it and immediately got it. Or like I'll just do like an isolated stream and then get a shiny, you know. They always come back when you're, you know, putting in a lot of work, putting a lot of encounters. I'm sure there were some unknowns in the hunt that were like, oh, just a isolated unknown that wasn't part of like a, it was like a one-off stream or something like that. But I'd say a majority of them were like during very like heavy grinds. Went from 8k to 10k in like 3 evenings. That'll do it. Yeah, the only way I can like realistically single system hunt is to, one, literally just spend 1 day a week doing it, which is what the REGI Steel hunt has been. But I think the thing that got me through the unknowns was just the idea of like, okay, how much can I optimize my speed of like doing each of these encounters and like all that. So like there are a lot of variables to it given like the amount of systems that were involved. So I remember just like looking at it and be like, okay, how many unknowns can I see in 1 hour? Okay, how many can I see in 2 hours? Okay, over the span of like even just 30 minutes, how many can I get in? And then I just obsess myself with like the math of like, okay, how efficient can I be with this? And you start to focus less on like the hunt itself and more on like or whether or not you get something, and more on like, okay, how efficient can I be? And that was kind of a big factor in the Suicune hunt, was focus less on like whether or not you get the Suicune in an attempt, and more on like, okay, how quickly can I get 20 Suicunes in an hour? Or like, can I get to a point where I'm hitting 20 Suicunes in an hour, which is like insane to be able to do that. That would be like 1 Suicune every 3 minutes. And it's tougher to do it with something like this where it's like a single system hunt and you're literally just going back and forth in the grass, but like, I don't know, I feel like there's ways to like, I feel like there's always ways to improve the speed or efficiency of a hunt. And I think the more I fixated on that, the more progress I made without getting burnt out. Yeah, you doing that many systems at once was insane and mad impressive. I was very happy with that hunt and how efficient and I got with it and how much work put into it. However, That was a major strain on my neck that I am so glad I'm done with that hunt because of the just sheer amount of pain that my neck was in after a stream. Literally, like, just the action of leaning forward in my chair and, like, straining over the systems like this, did a number on my neck. And I'm glad that I can finally just, now that I've got the Wavebird controller, I can literally just sit back in my chair and just do this and not think about how much pain my neck is in while I'm literally suffering in front of letter-shaped Pokemon. So I'm glad that it's done, because that was a strain. But, I felt like I had to commit to it because I was so close to finishing it. That to, like, completely pivot and go only Wavebirds was... that would have been just too much money. Because one of those receivers is like $60 on the cheaper end, where they can go as high as like 80 or 90. I would have had to get another. I would have had to get another GameCube. I'm sitting on a third GameCube right now, and I'm waiting to. I want to get to a point where I've got 4 systems going. 4 GameCubes that all have the docks for the Game Boy player and everything. That's the goal. That's the next setup that I want to have built. And that opens the door for any sort of hunts, specifically unknown hunts. Like if we wanted to go back and do all of the Gen 3 unknown hunts, it would just be a matter of like getting that built. I do want to do kind of a fundraising goal setup, and I've been talking about this for a while, but basically I want to raise enough money to complete the rest of the 4-system GameCube hunting mechanism so that I can go back to doing 4-system hunts that are operated by literally just one GameCube controller. So that is the next thing that like I'm working toward. I don't need it by what do you call it? I don't need it by Safari Week, because Safari Week I'm just doing the fishing encounters, and Wavebirds don't really work well for fishing. So I'm just going to be doing a 2-system hunt for that. Then after that, I'm heavily considering getting that going. It's just a matter of like raising enough money to actually complete the setup. And then if we were able to raise enough money for that, we'll do another 24-hour stream. So that would be the end goal, is to raise enough money for that, so that y'all can watch me play video games for 24 hours again. I gotta chat with my buddy though, because he was the one that kind of prompted the idea of bringing that back. So we'll see. I really want/need to get another 3DS XL, so I have 2. Yeah, dude, the 3DS XL, those things are nice. I was thinking about maybe getting 1, because I only have like the base 3DS. I don't have a 3DS XL. Thought about getting 1 just so that I've got like a maximum size screen 3DS for anything in XY. Yeah, that, and I have to figure out how to stream content from 3DS, which it should be possible given that I've already homebrewed my 3DS, so there should be applications that are available that allow me to actually like stream from it. I just have to figure out how. It's gonna be like something with the SD card or something. Because eventually I want to get to the point where I think the next like series hunt that I want to do is getting all of the Friend Safari encounters. as shinies. And I feel like that one's very doable, given that the odds are lowered on it and everything. Correct, the size is so... I'm just assuming that the size is so nice. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to get a 3DS XL. Just haven't had the money for it. AC's kind of kicking on in here.
Three, two, 1,
0. Yeah, we got a few Kaizo runners that are live right now as well. Just underscore Decamp is got a run going through Norman with a Venusaur on Kaizo Ironmon Emerald. So, folks, if you're looking for a Kaizo run to watch, and like an actual run, like definitely go check him out. And then Raffles live as well. Raffles, he had an Umbreon get to Brawly today, but got super powered right before, no heals. So. Yeah, definitely go check out some Kaizo streams if you're interested in that. I know we've got people that are interested in both shiny hunting and Kaizo's on here. We'll be live with Kaizo on Thursday. It'll be later in the day. It'll be a we're gonna get like a few hours in of Winnie the Pooh Home Run Derby, and then on later in the night we're gonna get into Kaizo, and we'll let that go for like 5 hours, I think. So I'm expecting Thursday to be like an 8-hour stream, realistically. Once we get to 5100, I will be cracking our Celsius for the stream. Because we're gonna need it. I've got a sugar rush going, or crashing from a sugar rush. So I don't think I still have a DoorDash. I think that subscription ran out, but I can check. That is another option for food as well. Dennis, welcome in. Rolling a 4164. Very close number. Dennis, hope you're doing well. Thank you for the shiny luck, Dennis. First shiny luck redeem of the day. I want to get some more sound alerts added. I know Chopin had a good suggestion the other day. Oh, what the hell is even that? I want to get that one added. That one I think will both be present on our channels. And our 100th Registeel is coming here in a little bit. Yo, I just got gifted a tier 1 subscription for a channel that I've never been to. Well, how about that? I'll check that out later. Alright, so in 40 minutes, 35 if you count the beginning of stream, or the intro, we were able to get 100 Regis done in 35 minutes. Which is pretty good. It's pretty good. I will cash into my Celsius. It is a peach vibe for the stream. I am not sponsored by Celsius, but it would be really cool if I was. I think I'm going to switch over to the controller here on out. So it's not this one. I think it's this one. Hyperforce. You know, I was looking into if there are any speedruns for this game called Hyperforce. And there are no speedruns. This isn't even the game Hyperforce for the Jaguar Atari. There are no recorded speedruns for it. It is nowhere on the... Oh, here's where I want. It's probably this one. It's definitely this one. Oh, dog, I had it set up. I just wasn't paying attention. There we go. Alright, cool. So yeah, there are no recorded speedruns, and it's not even like listed as a category on speedrun.com. So I thought about just like finding a way to find like an emulator of the game or like something, and then literally just like record a run and add it as a category on speedrun.com. Cause like I don't know, man. That's how speedruns start these days. Chosen redeeming some beeps. I'll get those here in a second. They are queued for them to be added. Alright, Chosen, your beeps are on the way. Good luck, good luck. Checking in from NYC. Ooh, Mr. Worldwide, here we go. How, Reggie? Did he steal? He is stealing. He is not shining though. Chopin, what's in NYC? What brings you to the Big Apple? That's Sir Reginald to you. Yes, Reginald Steele. The name Steele. Reginald Steele. Hope you're doing well, Chopin. And I hope you're enjoying NYC. Ran up to catch a friend performing at Carnegie. Kind of cool. Didn't want to miss. Hell yeah. That's super cool. My other buddy, who has nothing to do with streaming, he is a high school theater teacher. And he, every time they usually have like a school trip to New York that they host, where like a lot of the classes and stuff get to like go see a show or something like that. So he usually makes the trips up there because he's doing it as part of like programs or something. So I wasn't sure if you were doing something similar. Don't worry, Nuzlocke is still on tomorrow. Oh wow, so you're gonna be like back and like ready to go. Is this like a day trip? Is this just like a fly in and fly out kind of thing, or is it what's the plan? Or is this from an extended trip because it's the Memorial Day weekend? Flight back lands at 1 p.m. Central and then a few hours drive. Oh, wow, okay. Shit, well, hope the rest of the trip goes well. I will not be able to tune in basically at all for the Nuzlocke tomorrow. Simply because my day is filled to the gills. During the day, I'm getting my haircut, and then like immediately after the haircut, I'm getting my passport photo taken, and then I've got like a little bit of time to chill, but then I've got ball practice, and then we're running like Pokemon League stuff the rest of the night, where we're basically figuring out what the structure of our season's going to be coming up. It was a short trip. I have several commitments I'm juggling this week. LOL. LOL indeed. Hey man, that's life. Life is really just juggling, if you think about it. Sometimes you're just juggling with nothing in your hands, and that's just called air juggling. You're still juggling, it's just, you know, it's air juggling. Throwing one thing up in the air and then back down, that's technically juggling, it's just you're juggling one thing. Some would say it's much easier than, you know, juggling with 2 things or 3 things. Classic quad ball season, taking away my stream. It really is, like, our practices, our midweek practices are from 5:30 to 7:30 on Tuesdays. Like, it's rare that I get that time available for this summer. I don't know, man. I'll probably be done playing after this summer. It's just feeling like it. If I were to play this fall, though, it would be my 10th year of playing quad ball. So I wanna, like, I'd love to play for a team near nationals in like the spring. I'd like to, you know, like, join some team like halfway through the season, and then just like join for the winter tournaments and then hop on. Just to say that I'm, you know, I've done a 10th year, but I don't know, man. Frost not really being a team anymore has been kind of a bummer. And I don't want to really like travel and play for anybody unless it's like a chill team. Dennis, I just searched up quad ball and it looks kind of fire. Yeah, man, it's a co-ed full contact sport that's played at both the college and club level. And it's played around the country. And around the world, really. I think other countries are actually starting to get better at quad ball than us. And I think that's just from a sheer aspect of, like, there not being as many good teams anymore. Like, obviously the best of the best are still, you know, the best of the best in the US, but I don't know. It's fun though. It's a good replacement for like other rec sports that you'd play in college, where you could play like club volleyball or like club lacrosse or basically anything that, or club soccer is probably a good example. Ooh, Saribot grabbing 2 kills there with the bands. Hell yeah, keep it up, Saribot. It's just a fun replacement. You also do like way more traveling than you'd expect to do when you're in college. Whereas like I got to visit states that I had never been to before because of quad ball. It's fun, man. Community's cool. Sport's kind of dying, but you know, it's whatever. Sometimes you can only put so much energy into something before, like, it starts taking a lot out of you. Alright, I got back to my fancy live music now. Get the shiniest one you can find. Thank you, Chopin. Thanks for tuning in even just for a little bit. It's much appreciated. What is the stick in between the legs for? So, quad ball's original name was called Quidditch. And Quidditch is the sport from Harry Potter. So the idea is that the stick between your legs is your broom. It's, and like, I think it works as a pretty good handicap. So like, think of how in soccer, the handicap in that sport is that you cannot touch the ball with your hands, right? In basketball, you have to be dribbling, and there are a ton of rules around dribbling in basketball. In football, only certain positions can hold the football and run with it and gain yards. A whole bunch of stuff, but like basically for field sports, there are handicaps in place. And quad balls is that you have to keep a stick between your legs, otherwise you're considered off broom. And if you're off broom, then you have to go back to your team's hoops and touch those before you can re-enter play. So the sport is like, it's the physicality of rugby combined with like the strategy and placement of basketball. And then there's also dodgeball mixed into it as well. And then there's also like the seeker game as well, which is like trying to catch the tail on the back of the guy's pants as he's running around the field. So it's, I think it is the hardest sport to play. Sorry, not the hardest sport to play. It is the hardest, not physically, because like the physical demands of it are not as demanding as like other sports that exist. However, I think it is the most complex sport to learn because there are so many moving pieces, which also makes it the hardest sport to ref. And we only pay like the head ref and the lead assistant refs and the snitch runner, or the flag runner these days. Everybody else is just volunteer. And I think that's kind of the biggest issue. Like, you're only going to get, like, a high-quality ref crew for championship games because, you know, you're able to get a bunch of head refs on the field for a championship game. Whereas, like, you've got neutral teams that are having to fill ref slots for weekend-long tournaments, so... Nah, I would love this type of game. I just watched some gameplay. Yeah, man. There are tons of games out there. USQ and MLQ are the two leagues that you can find a lot of video content on. Yeah, just look up like any of the most recent championships. The USQ championships most recently happened in April, so you'd be able to find a lot of footage from that. College level and then club championships should both be on there. Depending on where you are, Dennis, you might be able to find a local team. They're like, I would say people are generally pretty open to new people joining as well. There's like a location or a team locator thing on USQ's website, I'm pretty sure. So like if you're looking for a team to join, there's usually one that's nearby. It depends though, like there are some states that don't have teams anymore, or have never had teams, but it depends. If you're in Texas, there are dozens. There are plenty of teams in Texas. But like Twin Cities, there's like one team, one college. What else? Omaha's starting to become a hotbed. The Northeast is littered with teams, so like if you're anywhere in the Northeast area, like New England or like New York area, there's plenty of teams. The Chicago area, there are like a couple teams, but they're really big and they've got a lot of deep like, what's the word? Development programs. Damn, I'm in the Southeast, there's almost nothing. Yeah, I think the closest thing you'd have is probably the Reapers in North Carolina. Carolina Reapers. But they're in the North Carolina side. Florida lost all of its teams, I'm pretty sure. Florida's Finest was like the longest standing Southeast team. Orlando might still have a team. What else? There's not a lot of like, there are no teams in, there's no Georgia teams. Yeah, sorry. Georgia Tech had a quad ball team for a while, but they definitely folded once. A lot of teams went away because of COVID, and I think that's kind of the crux of it, is that when you don't have students on campus anymore and all of your players graduate, you've got nobody to maintain the program after that, which is kind of the bummer. Yeah, Georgia Tech had a team. Georgia Bulldogs never had a team. Think like any school in the SEC, other than like Florida, Mizzou, A&M, like outside of like those four teams, I'm pretty sure like none of the SEC schools had a team. There's no team at Vanderbilt, there's no team at Alabama, there's no team at Georgia, there's no team at any of the Mississippis. Because the sport is like very like LGBTQ friendly, queer friendly, like very ally oriented, and those schools are not very aligned. They're not very aligned with those beliefs and kind of what the community's trying to be. So that's why there really have never been teams in the South. Other than, like, Florida. I think Florida is kind of the one exception. Florida and Texas. Texas is, like, a hotbed for quad ball. The most recent club champions are in Texas Hill Country area, so, like, basically between Austin and San Antonio area, or the eastern side of Austin as well. Atlanta's moving towards that direction. It's only a matter of time. I would say that Atlanta's pretty progressive. Any like major city, regardless of location, whether it's north or south, like I would say any major city is still like fairly progressive. I would have thought Dallas was probably one of the more traditional like conservative cities, and they still kind of are, but like with cities that are that big, you still find that a lot of them are like very progressive, and they have like areas and like populations that, you know, align with that. I only use Dallas as an example because I lived there for a little bit. But it's like, I feel like, especially living in the Twin Cities, I feel like the culture in the Twin Cities is very progressive, just naturally. It's nothing like the northern Minnesota, because that's where I think a lot of people have more like rural, traditional beliefs. But especially in the cities, in the metro, it's very progressive. And I feel like that's been the case with a lot of the events that have gone on in Minneapolis, given with like the George Floyd thing, and then also like all the ICE protests and everything that's been going on. Whereas like I feel like Minneapolis and like the Twin Cities as a whole has had a spotlight on it in multiple instances now that has been on a national scale, where people I don't know. I think people are just more vocal about opposition to that kind of stuff. So it naturally makes it a more progressive area for people to live and kind of be more proud of. It's cool. I like living here. It helps growing up here because, I don't know. We're making really good time today. We're coming up on our first ad break here in a little bit. I might even run them a little early just so I don't have to deal with pre-roll. But once we hit 5170, I'm gonna go ahead and run 3 minutes of ads. 3 minutes of ads is gonna run. If you're a subscriber, you'll still be hanging out, but otherwise you'll just have to endure 3 minutes. I will not be shiny hunting during those 3 minutes of ads. So y'all have nothing to fear there. You're not going to miss the shiny. No encounters will be missed. All I ask is that you hang out. If you need to run to the bathroom, if you need to grab some water, do what you need to in those 3 minutes. And I'll see you guys after the ad break. Alright, so that puts us at 5170. I'm going to go ahead and run the ads now. I'm on like a 6-second delay, so let that go for a little bit. I will see y'all after the ads. I will be on my phone in the meantime. Thank you, Deoxys Dennis. JoJo content. Some JoJo content for the subscribers. Still got a minute 17 left on the ads. Hope everybody's doing well. Oh, I forgot to write my... I forgot to write my review of, my rewatch of, what do you call it? Of, Godzilla -1. World War II. What other? Oh, I guess it's an AMC A-list watch. What else? Yeah, it's on Japan. There we go. All right. Chat, welcome back. Survived the ads. Good, I'm glad. Ready Steel is flown away, and now we resume. Appreciate everybody waiting. I was able to write my review of Godzilla -1 in that time, so I'm glad I thought to do that. I have seen the movie before, I just saw it again. I think next hour I'm going to put a sweatshirt on, but we don't need to do that right now. I'm worried that I'm not going to see this shiny Registeel. Like, it's going to be on my screen, and I'm just not going to notice it. That's the thing that I think bugs me the most. Maybe I just need to watch some videos of other people finding shiny Registeel, and maybe that'll, like, I don't know, maybe that'll help me, like, look for cues Because obviously, like, the sparkle is going to be the most obvious thing. But the, like, slight shade of green that it turns is the thing that I'm worried about. Where, like, it's pretty obvious for other people, but for me, I feel like I'm not going to see it. But I said the same thing about Regice's shiny, where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to see this. It just kind of changes colors slightly. And then I noticed it right away. But I think if that hunt would have gone a lot longer, I probably would have been worried that I thought I missed it. But like this one's now over 5,000, and the worry is that I somehow missed it, but I know I haven't. Because I've been looking specifically for the sparkles, and those have not arrived. Can't miss mint toothpaste. I hope you're right, Dennis. I hope that I'm gonna notice it like right away before it even appears like fully. Because that's what happened with the Regice, is I saw the Regice come into frame and I was like, oh, that's different. That is definitely the Regice. So I'm hoping that Regiseal's the same way. I think I'm using a pretty high contrast TV too, so like I'm looking at my OBS on this screen, but then I'm also looking at this monitor. And like I'm looking at the shiny Registeel that I have on the right compared to the Registeel that's appearing in frame, and I can't quite, there's like a slight difference, but I can't really tell. But then if I compare the Registeel that's appearing on my OBS and compare it to the one that's on my TV, the one on my TV is like a very bright gray, like a metallic silver gray color. And I'm like, oh, well, if this is going to be shiny, it's going to be very obvious that it's green and not, you know, gray like it usually is. But Chopin can attest, I recently mistook the blue on his Minecraft avatar. I recently mistook the blue on his avatar for gray, and we had like a whole session about it because we were doing just like offline workshopping to like make our streams better. Which, by the way, if you have the ability, if you're into streaming and you have the ability to like workshop with your friends who are also streamers to like figure out what to do better to make your streams better, Chopin and I have had 2 sessions now, and both of those have been super productive. Up until the point where like we had a whole session about like why I thought his blue was gray and why he was like rightfully so like, no, it's blue. And we had like a whole like session on Photoshop deducing like what colors mean in hex codes. But aside from that whole charade, we had a very productive meeting. Just like going back and forth and showing like, okay, well, this is how I do this thing. Or like if I need to add something to my overlay, this is what I use to make it, or like this is how I like go about making a layer that I then add to the overlay. So I feel like our sessions have been really good. The first session we worked on was when I got sound alerts added, and sound alerts have been awesome. So glad we have them. So I highly recommend, like, if anybody ever gets into streaming, find a friend who you can like spend a night workshopping with to just like we didn't even have like a set topic on what we wanted to work on. It was just kind of a, hey, I need to go through what's not been working on my stream and what has been. And we just sat down and just like had a Discord call where we shared screens and just like, all right, this is what I have my setup as. Oh, this is what I have my setup as. Oh, yours is slightly different from mine. Here's what I do on mine instead. Anyways, that's just been very helpful, and both sessions that we've run have been amazing. I feel like those meetings would have a very good opportunity to, like, I walk out of it and I feel like I gained nothing from this. But both sessions, even though we didn't have anything planned, we both walked away with something gained from that. So it's always left a feel-good feeling, which has been good. I think the main thing that I took away from our last session was figuring out how to use the display sockets in my PC so that I could then use these TVs as my monitors for future streams. And if I had the ability to just like turn that TV that's above the one I'm looking at right now, if I had the ability to turn that into, alright, I'm just putting all of my chats and things up there, that would be massive, actually. But I'm thinking about maybe getting another monitor soon anyways, so who knows. But I do need to get those display cords. Display port cords. I also gotta figure out if my computer can actually, like, handle that. They're talking about adding a new biome to Peak, so I'm thinking me and Chopin will probably put together a Peak stream soon. Just so that we can get a salty run back, get a good session in with the new map. Peak currently allows you to do custom runs now, where you can custom and like take certain items out. And they don't count towards like your peak goals or missions or anything like that, but if we just want to do like a mission where we didn't pull any like lollipops or ropes or anything like that, we could. And or if we didn't want to play like routes for the day, or if we just wanted to like change it out or if we wanted to like guarantee a mesa run, then we could do that, which I think is really cool. I thought about getting into Peak for speedrunning. The first ever sub 13 run was recently published like a month ago, and people have been like optimizing it and making it faster recently. And I don't know if I wouldn't be good at it. I wouldn't be like the best Peak speedrunner ever, but I feel like it could be a fun game to maybe get into. If I could, I'd love to see if I could get a run that is below 30 minutes. Just to see if it's possible for me. And then if I were able to do that, I would heavily consider, putting more effort into it. Because once we're done with Winnie the Pooh, once we've achieved both records, I think I, like, physically have to stop playing it. Because, again, the eye twitch thing has been rough. Where, like, I need to give my eye a break. I cannot be doing something that is reaction-based speedruns with a twitchy eye. So the rest would be good. I don't know. I want to get into speedrunning other categories and games and things like that, but the big thing is just putting in enough hours to actually be good at it, which has been the trick is finding a game that is worth putting the time in. Like, what game still has room to gain, you know? Whereas, like, the most recent, like, the world record for Mario Superstar Baseball, that one is clean. There are no holes. There's no gaps in that run. It's kind of crazy. You'd have to find ways to like skip parts of the main story to like be faster. I don't think there's a lot of room to expand on that record. I don't know, I'd have to find more like stage-based games to speedrun that are similar to Winnie the Pooh Home Run Derby. Because I found that is the game that I am good at. So I'd have to find games that are similar to that and, you know, try to do something similar. I also want to look for games that are like, you know, quick. I've thought about doing Spyro Year of the Dragon, but Spyro Year of the Dragon is like it's like a 3-hour speedrun. But I mean, like, I don't know. It just depends on like how much time I'm willing to put into something like that. I think the Coliseum one is actually over 3 hours. The Pokemon Coliseum speedrun's insane. But I'd consider it. Because I think the biggest thing about finding the game that is good to speedrun for you is the one that you're already very familiar with. Because you can't replace the muscle memory and the familiarity that you have with a video game. That's like the best basis for getting into speedruns in the first place. And like, if I just look at all the games that I've done on Steam, the one that I probably have put the most hours in out of all of them right now is probably Peak. So like realistically, that would be the one that makes the most sense, but I've also been playing it on controller and not keyboard, and I don't know if you can speedrun on the controller the way that you can with the keyboard, because like the whole thing with like using your stamina bar, the use of your stamina bar in that game is insane, where you're basically running on empty the entire time so that you're able to utilize the like extended jump when you're like making your last leap. And I don't know if there's a way to do it with controller as easily as you can with the keyboard, but my keyboard's fucked where I can't do the super jumps. But like maybe you don't need the super jump, I don't know. There's a lot of technical stuff with Peak that I would have to learn how to do first before I can confidently get into speedrunning. I don't know, maybe there's a world where you could be close to the world record with a controller, but you'd have to find how to manipulate it. Manipulate the stamina bar better. Who knows? In the meantime, though, I'm gonna keep putting hours into Winnie the Pooh Home Run Derby. I might even put some attempts in tonight offline, just so that I'm, you know, ready for Thursday. I just gotta do like unrecorded runs or something like that, where I don't care what the result is. I'm just like getting to owl as quickly as possible, and then getting solid owl attempts in. I'd be interested to see what the speedruns for Twilight Princess look like. That game has seemed pretty solid from what I remember, where there's not really ways to, like, you can't really glitch through the game, if that makes sense. I think it's just a lot of maneuvers and stuff. That's kind of the basis of it. But I know with Ocarina of Time and what's the other one? Majora's Mask. There are just blocked off areas that you're able to, like, glitch through, and then you're able to trigger the fight. Wind Waker's pretty similar. Wind Waker, for the longest time, people thought you could not get to the final battle because it was blocked off for the entire game. And they found a way through it eventually. Which just completely changed that category, or changed that game's speedruns. Outer Wilds would be a fun one to speedrun. I'm pretty sure the Outer Wilds speedrun's down to like 8.5 minutes now, which is like insane to think. Gotta head out, Beartick. Good luck on Bridgie Steel. Thank you, Dennis. Thanks for hopping in and chatting for a bit. Hopefully I'll see you on Thursday's stream. I'm gonna skip this track. I don't know if this goes along with this. It's a fun one to listen to, but it doesn't quite fit the vibe. Who's live right now? I know with it being a holiday, I feel like there are less people that are like on. Oh, LAB Walker streaming. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Raffle's still streaming. It seems like Decamp is off for the night. Hopefully his run is still going. I'll have to catch the end of his VOD. Because I imagine he's done everything up to the point of facing Winona, and he probably did the Winona fight. Because I feel like once you get the Winona fight in, and you just do the Maxi fight after that, and then everything with Mount Ember? Or Mount Pyre. Mount Pyre is what I meant. I feel like once you get past that, it's like, alright, time to explore the ocean. And then we haven't made it past Tate and Liza yet, so we haven't done the dive maneuvers yet. All the diving that's involved. The final push for items, because once you do that, there really are no items left in the game. That's why I'd love to get a pickup run going. A Pokemon with the ability pickup for a Kaizo run. Because that's just that many more items you get access to. Because you can only use the items that you get from trainer battles, that you pick up from trainer battles. And you can get some really cool stuff from it. But yeah, we've never had a good pickup run. Or at least none that have gone past Roxanne. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've had a pickup run go past Rival. Or if it did, it didn't last long after that. It, like, lost to the youngster or something. I also gotta do some research into the Murph League stuff that Raffle was telling me about. Which is basically just like a league that keeps track of like how well you do with specific runs, and it's basically an easier Kaizo. Or it's an easier Ironmon with like less restrictions and stuff. Where you can like use the TMs that you find on the ground, not just the ones that the gym leaders give you. So I gotta sit down and actually do research on that, because that's gonna be the Emerald season is gonna be in July. So I have to start doing research so that I can get started on that. And I don't know, it's a cool opportunity to explore the format further. Do more Kaizo stuff, which like I'm always a fan of, and then two, I think it's gonna open up to like more viewers and stuff too. I think it'd be cool to have more people that are following Kaizo find the stream. And who knows, maybe we'll do more Kaizo stuff, more Kaizos per week instead of just Kaizos on Friday. We got a Wild Passimian in chat, if you guys want to get your hands on one of those. I've got a few already, so I'm going to pass. But yeah, I just have a long checklist of things that I need to get done in regards to the stream. I think I've just got to put more. I think if I'm able to spend on the days that I'm not streaming, and usually if I have time given, I should be dedicating just a little bit of time, even just like an hour a day, to seeing what I can do to improve the quality of the stream. Because I've been talking about doing more stuff with stream elements and like making the complete move off of Nightbot onto Stream Elements. Just because I feel like there's more customization stuff that you can do with Stream Elements that you can't quite do with Nightbot, at least anymore. Or there was a lack thereof of customization when Nightbot was like the dominant bot. but now that Stream Elements is around, I feel like there's a lot more customization stuff that you can do. So, integrating the stream completely with Stream Elements is kind of the future goal. I want to have that done before Safari Week. Learning about Murph League and like getting everything set up for that is another. That one I just have to spend an evening like completely getting that set up so I know what to do. And then I gotta get everything set up for Safari Week. That one's not as hard because I've got everything set up. I just have to make sure everything's working properly. And that's gonna be getting both TVs set up and everything. Because this one's still set up for the Switch, and I have to get it plugged back into the GameCube and make sure everything's working there. But it can be done. I need to clean my desk too. That's another thing. And then, I don't know. I'm kind of holding on doing any Ribbon Master stuff until we're done with REGI Steel. But I realistically should start thinking about getting that set up soon. So that, like, in the instance where we are done with REGI Steel, we can just immediately start working on it, and then that way I've got no excuse to put it off any longer. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to be a perfectionist with these contests, so it's going to be... I gotta know where to save time and resources. Because realistically, I could just use the sleep, talk, rest method for the contest, and that'll be good enough. But only so many of the Pokemon can utilize that strategy effectively. I think I've got to set up a, like, for each of my Ribbon Master candidates, I need to set up a path through all 5 of the contests for them. That's going to be the trick. Like, what move combos are able to get through each of the levels, etc. Getting the right Pokeblocks made is going to be a whole other thing, but we'll solve that for another day. I gotta relearn how to make Pokeblocks because I feel like I watched the video on how to make them and I like referenced the guide, and then I'll go like a couple months without, and then I'll just forget everything. So gotta relearn how to make Pokeblocks once Shiny REGI Steel's done. Oh, excuse me. Apologies for the volume. I'm a loud sneezer. Oh, and now my eye's twitching because I sneezed. I feel like I'm juggling a lot of stuff right now, too. Because on top of all of this, I have to make sure that the Pokemon League that I commission, I gotta make sure that everything runs well with that. Because we're planning on starting the season end of June, which is gonna be clashing right around the time that I'm doing Safari Week. So I have to not over-stream Safari Week. I want to get a lot of encounters done in Safari Week, but I also don't want to like commit too much time to it and then lose time on the Pokemon League setup. So I think if I just stay ahead of all the Pokemon League stuff, I think that's gonna give me enough time to, like, maybe get world record for Winnie the Pooh Home Run Derby, just with enough time put on it daily. I think realistically I have to start, like, using my mornings to get speedruns in. Because I'm just not as effective of a speedrunner at night. Or, I don't know, I'm not physically able to be as good at speedrunning at night as I am during the day. So, I mean, realistically, I could probably use tomorrow morning to work on Winnie the Pooh speedruns, because I need to get stuff for the MWPL Town Hall set up. Like, after stream today, I'm just going to be making sure that my OBS is built to actually, like, take that Discord call. And then I just have a work shift on Wednesdays, so I can use any time before 3 to work on stuff. Making pretty good time. 53:12 is our halfway point, or 53:13 is our halfway point. And we're at we're at an hour 45 right now. So time's looking really good. I don't realistically see me taking any breaks today, other than the ad breaks. I don't know. Second half of the stream's always weird because I start getting antsy and I want to, like, do anything but shiny hunt, but I have to stay consistent. We'll see. It's right around the time that the Celsius runs out, and then I'm, like, starting to get fidgety again. Carp Kaiser, welcome in. Rolling a 30-29. Thank you for the hydrate. Get that here in a second. Why the Knicks? I'm rooting for the Knicks a little bit, just with them still having Cat. Oh, national media, I guess. I don't mind them, though. I don't like their fan base. I think their fan base is toxic as hell. But I also try to not let that guide my decision-making on, like, what teams I like. Where, like, I'm not going to hate the Eagles because of their fan base, which is a very good reason to hate the Eagles. Or any Philly team, for that matter. But I feel like there are much better reasons to not like the Eagles. Mainly just because of their rivalry with the Vikings over the years. I feel like that's guided my disdain for them more than anything. Big Spike Lee hater, that's fair. That's true, though. The national media is kind of for the Knicks, but I don't know. I feel like the Knicks have gone through a lot of ups and downs lately, and I think we're leading into a very interesting final where we're going to see the Knicks kind of coast to the finals, and then they're still going to get tossed by whoever makes it out of the West. Because everybody's been waiting to see, you know, OKC versus San Antonio, right? Everybody's been waiting for that. So we'll see how that goes. I just know whoever makes it out of the West has a really good, is like almost guaranteed to win the whole thing. I'm excited to see what moves the Wolves end up making in the offseason. I feel like everybody's waiting to see Julius and Gobert exit with just what those trades are going to look like. I think what the plan is looking like is that Tim Connolly is going to move as much as he can to get draft picks and other commodities that are in a position to trade for Giannis. I think my prediction is we are going to be the team that has the best shot at getting Giannis, but I don't think we're going to get him. Sorry, let me recorrect. I don't think we are the team that everybody is going to predict ends up with Giannis, but for whatever reason, we are not going to provide enough capital to get him in a trade. And I think it's going to end up being that the Bucks ask for too much, and the Wolves simply say we cannot provide it, or we're not willing to let go of like certain assets. Yeah, we don't have any capital yet because we have to. Well, that's the thing. We have to move Julius Randle, and we have to move Rudy Gobert, and then if we move those guys for draft capital, then we have the capital to then get Giannis. But it's still going to require us to give up players like TJ Shannon Jr. and other assets as well. ESPN put out a mock trade for Julius Randle, Terrence Shannon Jr., and Johan Berenger for Ja Morant. And I laughed out loud when I saw that. W catch. I laughed out loud when I saw that. Because TJ and Yohan are just more valuable in their current state than they are in that kind of trade. But Tim Connolly wants to build around Julius, or not Julius, Ant. He wants to build around Ant, Nas, Jaden, and Yohan. And Yohan's going to be a much longer project, but that's the 4 he wants to build around. Everybody else is available. Joe Ingles going back to Australia was kind of he was kind of reading the writing on the wall where it's like, I can't really stay here anymore because they're going to be moving a lot of players and there's not going to be enough space. So Jingles went back to Australia. Good for him though. He's a cult favorite in the Twin Cities now. I wouldn't be shocked if we ended up flipping Bones Highland. He works kind of well in our system right now, but I could definitely see another team wanting him with kind of how much he's improved since we picked him up. I don't know. I would like to keep Dante if we can, but Dante's not going to be back for another year and a half. He won't be 100% for another year, basically. So we can't really do anything with him. Dude, the Achilles injuries are so devastating. I think as soon as we started to see that stretch of Achilles injuries stemming from last season, I feel like that's been the biggest worry with a lot of players, is just making sure that they're staying healthy and not letting those injuries happen. But shout out Mayo Clinic. It's a miracle that Ant was even able to be back for the San Antonio series. Alright, we are past the halfway point and we are sub 2 hours to reach halfway of 625. And that is pretty good, chat. That's pretty good. Our next ad break's coming up in like 10 minutes. So we'll do another 3-minute pause once we get there. My goal is to just stay focused and get through as much of this as I can without any extended breaks. Because I got a lot that I need to get done before the MWPL Town Hall tomorrow night. Just gotta make sure everything's set up. I have to add the rest of the comments and interpretations from the Ubers being moved down. Because I don't want to have to pull up the... I don't want to have to reference the Google form survey responses midstream, so I'd rather just get the comments added now so I don't have to go back and look at it. Aside from that, it's basically done. And then I gotta add in my talking points at each breakdown so I'm not left just like with nothing to say. also have to make sure I don't lose my voice before this meeting, because the last time we had it, my voice was absolutely gone from being sick. So as long as I'm not sick before tomorrow night, I'm good. I think I hit the button on that one. We're officially at the 2-hour mark of stream. Appreciate having everybody in here. Everybody's tuning in for our one Reggie Steele stream of the week. Just so people are aware, schedule for the week can be found on the Discord. The link to the Discord is below. If you are not on that, exclamation point Discord should get you a link for that, but otherwise the one in the About section below the screen that you're looking at should be good. But the schedule for the rest of the week is no stream Tuesday or Wednesday. Thursday, Winnie the Pooh stream at 1 p.m. We're going to do that until I get burnt out from that, and then we're going to switch over to Kaizo for the rest of the night. It could be roughly an 8-hour stream, 8 or 9-hour stream on Thursday. I'm planning on doing a longer stream that day. And then Friday is going to be a continuation of Kaizo. Hopefully we get something Thursday night that I can continue with into Friday. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know. I enjoy doing Kaizo and starting new runs, so there's value there. Alright, here's our Palindrome. Palindrome Reggie Steele. Nope, no shiny. Alright, we're gonna go to 5340, and then I'm gonna run our next ad break. 53.40 and then ads. So just want to give you all a heads up on that. It's going to be 3 minutes of ads. I will not be hunting for Registeel during those 3 minutes. I'm actually going to be using the bathroom during that time. And I suggest you all do the same. Do what you need to do. Get some snacks. Get some water. Use the bathroom. Do what you need to in those three minutes. Subscribers are not affected by that time, but I will be out of my chair for like a minute or two. And then I'll be back and probably just checking texts. Not shiny. We'll go ahead and leave it on that screen for now. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. We're gonna run 3 minutes of ads, and I'll see y'all after the break. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Don't go anywhere. See you in a bit. Welcome back, chatters. Wild cherry. I don't think I have one of these. Oh, I do have one. How about that? Okay, cool. Chat, welcome back. The ads have concluded, and we will continue hunting we got the cherubi. Hello. That's another thing is I saw cherubi and it reminded me of playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I feel like that would be a very interesting speedrun. The more that I think about it, I don't use that controller. I'd have to take a look at what those speedruns look like, because you have to meet certain thresholds in those, so I'd be interested to see how those turn out. Raffle, welcome in. Reginald, shine for my man, please. I hope so too, Raffle. I hope that Regi Steel shines soon for us. We just got back from a 3-minute ad break, so we now have 58 minutes until our next set of ads. And frankly, I'm ecstatic. We're at a really good pace, though. We've been very efficient with our encounters tonight. No real extended breaks outside of the ad breaks. It feels good. It feels good. This is probably the most efficient that I've been hunting Regi Steel in a while. But we're going to be going late. We started at 8 p.m. Central Time, and this always takes me a little over 4 hours, so we're going till past midnight. But yeah, Rafa, how was the rest of the stream? Did we see any runs tonight? Ooh, little late night bear tick. Massive? I like to think so. Churok stands for 4 hours, average pretty low. Understandable. I've had those streams have been happening more often for me lately. It's been a while since I've had like an actual run for Emerald. Brawly's been kind of gatekeeping me lately. I've had some really good runs that I've been very excited for that seem to just die at Brawly, and I think that's the reality of it. Is I feel like I got a lot of beginner's luck in my first like 200 attempts, where I was able to get past Brawly like a couple times, and I had runs like my 69th run went past Brawly and like only got screwed over by Flashfire Duskull, but then we had the Tate and Liza run with Bonesaw, and that was kind of the, we might actually be able to do this. I just haven't been able to get the right Mon lately. I'm doing a lot of scouting, but nothing has shown itself. Yeah, I think my least favorite thing about Kaizo Ironmon is the scouting, and I feel like I'm just not very good at it, or I'm not very patient at it. Where, like, if I've got the starter in front of me, I would rather just see how far the starter can go than, like, settling for... I don't know. Scouts are so risky, and, like, I understand that that's an analysis aspect of it, where it's like, oh, you need to be able to find, you know, you need to be able to analyze the situation to determine what Pokemon is, like, good enough to actually take on a run based on the information that's given to you. And I think that's the aspect of it that I guess I'm struggling with, because I'm not very good at it yet. Whereas, like, I think if I take more time to, like, analyze situations and play those scout battles safer, I'm able to give myself better opportunities. Like an Electrode, perfect Spec A spread, used its other 3 moves for 20 turns just for me to look at the log post seed with 140 base Spec 8 and Flamethrower with more special moves coming on. So my 2 Fire Red wins, I got my Mons off the table and went, this wins. And I just never had that Mon for Emerald yet. Yeah. Yeah, the analysis and just, like, the waiting to see if you can get the good moves later, and, like, being able to take a run late enough to actually get those is the frustrating part. Whereas, like, it would be nice to just, you know, be handed the Bonesaw and then go to town with Bonesaw, right? But Kaizo's not that easy, and I think what gives you more success per run is your ability to analyze past the starter. And I think that's the part that I guess I'm in a learning curve right now, but I know that the better I get at analyzing those, the more likely I am to find more success. But I think part of it is the thing that I enjoy the most about Kaizo is the resets and like going off of an initial seed and figuring out how to get past not only the rival, but then after the rival, what can I do to set myself up for success to get past Roxanne? And that for me has been very enjoyable. So there's ways of scouting, many different ways. My favorite is having a 40 plus HP mon that's tanky out of lab and just trying to soak hits and figure out stats. Yeah, exactly. Like, there are some Pokemon that are just not built to scout. But, like, if I get a Trace Pokemon, I'm like, oh, if I get a Trace Pokemon, I can literally scout everything through the woods, basically. And then I can make my decision on, like, okay, what do I really want to run? Yeah, getting a high HP Trace Pokemon is, like, the dream. And then sometimes I'll do the scouting, and then I'm just not impressed with what I find. And then I have to, like, settle for something that I'm not excited to run, you know? But yeah, that's the struggle of it. It would be nice to just, you know, be handed the Blastoise, or the Typhlosion, or the thing that is, you know, built to take on the run. But that's why it's Kaizo Ironmon, and it's not easy. I've been getting excited, though, for Murph League, though. Murph League in July for the Emerald Circuit. I gotta reinvest myself in that and, like, start to learn the rules. Because I'm excited to run that for streams in July. I feel like by going through the hardest possible challenge in Emerald Kaizo Ironmon, I feel like I'm building myself to, like, do fairly well with the Emerald Murph League. So I'm excited to see how that goes, and I need to do more research leading up to it. That's probably what I'll be doing throughout June. Close to the tournament, I'm going to be running test seeds for a week or so. Yeah, I think I've got to do that as well. Just so that I'm, like, familiar with the format. Because I know there are, like, TMs and such that I just ignore because I just don't think I can run them, but then knowing that I can get something from those DMs is, like, I don't know. Could be fun. I know the week before it, I will be... Because I think it's, like, July... Is it, like, the first week of July? Because I know the week before that is going to be Safari Week. So I'm going to have to do some, like, offline testing for it. Because my online time is going to be spent doing Safari hunts. Fuel consumed. July 3rd through the 19th. Yes, got it. Yeah, I know the 11th I have a wedding that I need to go to, but outside of that, that week is clear for me. Or those 2 weeks are clear for me. I'm gonna have to... Oh, I know I'm gonna have to front load it, because I know in July... Let me double check this. If this is June... So I am out for basically the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th with a fishing trip. So I'm basically gonna have to front load and do. I don't know if I'll be able to start it right away on the Friday. Actually, no, I'll be able to do it the 3rd into that entire week after it. So I'm gonna have to front load my entire schedule for it, but I can do it because the second week of that is a lot tougher for my schedule. But yeah, the goal of that is just gonna be getting as many streams as I can in during that time period. And yeah, the closer we get to that, I think around June, like mid-June is when I'm going to start getting it set up. Once I get all that set up, I'm probably going to be asking you for a lot of questions on it too, just because it's going to be a struggle even just getting like the emulator set up because I'm challenged when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I'll be asking a lot of questions as I'm going through it, so appreciate all the help on that. I'm excited to have you in, and I'm excited for you to meet the other streamers in it too. Yeah, I think that's the thing that I'm the most excited about with it, is just meeting more content creators and people that, you know, specialize in this field. Because I'm still fairly new to like the Kaizo scene and like the alternate harder formats like this that are outside of the main game. So all of it's still very new to me, and I'm excited to meet more content creators and tune in on their streams as well, as they're doing this challenge. And if this ends up going really well, I'd be excited to try out the other formats as well. Kaizo really started as just kind of this would be really fun to do on stream, and I'm having a blast doing it so far. Like, it's kind of the stream of the week that I'm looking forward to the most. So I'm excited to see what like a competitive tournament style version of it would look like, and also to see like how it changes my perception of a challenge like this, because the for fun aspect of it keeps it very low key. So if I were to put it in a tournament format where the stakes are raised even higher, I'm interested to see how I'm going to respond to that. Where if I end up playing better or enjoying it more versus like maybe it ends up just not being something for me. But we'll see. I think it's going to go really well though. I'm excited for it. Gives me another overlay that I need to build, but I always have fun doing that. Even if it's one person, the connections on this app has been the best. Yeah, man. I mean, you're a good indicator of like, oh, you can meet some really cool people doing this kind of stuff. I got that vibe immediately from like when I first started shiny hunting on stream. That the shiny hunting community is like, it's very big, but it's also very niche at the same time. This is very like niche and very tight knit, which has been really cool to see. I'm thankful you raided in on the tail end of my April Fool's stream. Yeah, man, I was not sure what I was getting into because I saw Ironmon, Emerald Kaizo Ironmon, and I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. And I then looked at the number that said streaming for 7 to 8 hours, and I was like, oh wait, did I raid in on the wrong stream? But then you like started right then, and I was like, oh, I think I did something right. Yeah, man, your community's really cool. A lot of continuous faces appearing in that stream. I've also enjoyed getting to hang out in your streams and vibing, dude. Vibes here are immaculate. Thank you. I try to keep the vibes good here. I know I keep things pretty, like, I focus a lot on the games, especially when I'm doing like Kaizo Ironmon or if I'm doing the Winnie the Pooh streams. Those are very like game intensive. So it's nice to have just like the 1 stream a week Reggie Steel Hunt where I literally just get to yap for like 4.5 hours. Cause like hunting for Reggie Steel is mindless for me at this point. It's just a matter of like making sure that I'm not completely missing a runaway and missing out on a shiny, but like the screen is so big in front of me that I can't help but not see the shiny when it appears. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it here. I like what I've built with my stream at this point, and I know I can make it better, and I can find the people that enjoy the kind of content that I'm creating. And it's just a matter of like time and putting effort in to like when you do get the lurker or the person that randomly finds your stream, it's capitalizing on it to make sure that you're not losing somebody who you know would enjoy your stream but just caught you on a bad day, or caught you on a day where your stream wasn't like quite what they were looking for. Because I'd love to get to the point where I've got like 15 plus consistent chatters hopping in and enjoying the stream. That would be the dream for me, because I think anything past that, I don't know if I'd be able to facilitate that. There are some other streamers that I've been following that I like regularly tune into that went from like having 5 viewers to like 45 viewers in a given night. And I feel like going from like starting streaming like 3 months ago and like already being at those numbers would be jarring to be at. So it's been a very slow burn to get to the numbers that I like seeing on my streams. And I try to not focus on the numbers too much. Like I don't want that to take away from like how I approach my streams or anything like that. But you can't help but not see the number of viewers, and it kind of affects how you approach it. Where if I see a low number, I feel like I don't feel obligated to talk during the stream because there's just nobody watching anyways, so I can not talk. But at the same time, you have to treat it like you do have a ton of people that are watching you. I don't know. I'm just very perceptive of it. I envy the people that are able to look past the number or like hide the number, because I don't think I could do that. It's something I can't help but look at, because it's a direct correlation to like how successful the stream is for me. The numbers will kill, man. Starting this year, I've turned mine off and just focused on enjoying what I played. I think I've got to get to that point as well. I think the number is the thing that is... It's the thing that I use to determine whether or not my stream was successful. And I've got to find a way to get past that. But I don't know if I don't have the balls to turn off the number. Yeah, like, it's a struggle. But I think the big thing is I just want to, like... There's so much to do after stream that I should be doing more often, but usually my streams will go until I need to leave for work, and I physically just don't have the time to do the things that I want to do, like content creation, clip making, all those different fun things that bring more traffic to your channel. And like, I don't know. I'd like the stream to get to a point where it can be, I don't even want to say it. Like, I don't want it to be profitable. I don't want to, like, make it something that is generating money to a point where it's, like, sustainable. Because I don't even know if I'm ready to reach those numbers yet. And not to say that, like, my stream's anywhere close to getting to that point, but I don't know. I feel like I've been very fixated on it as of late. But I think the big thing that I have to keep reminding myself is that my goal this year was to, 1, put out a schedule every week saying when I'm streaming, and then 2, adhere to that schedule of at least 2 streams a week. And I've been doing 3 streams a week on average in replacement of that. So I'm actually exceeding my goals for this year. So I think as long as I'm adhering to that rule, that's the thing that I'm most focused on. It was very easy to keep to the schedule back in like January and February because it's cold outside and there's no reason to go outside anyways. But now we're getting to the summer months and like my work schedule's ramped up and it's a lot easier to just say no to streams because I'd rather be outside doing something with friends. But the fact that we're still hanging tough and like keeping to the schedule, I think is the big thing that I have to remind myself. It's like, all right, the numbers may not reflect it, but like the stream is successful based on the goals I've set. So the people that will find the stream though will find it eventually. For what it counts, I think you've done a dope job, and I hope more people come in and hang out with you, brother. I'm also going to send you a video I watch when I get in my head, because it definitely happens to everyone. Yeah, man, definitely send that to me, because I have to do something similar when a shiny hunt goes on for too long. Like, I think what I'm going to do, now that we're, like, getting past what I consider, like, the halfway point of the Registeel hunt, where I'm expecting it to take, like, 10k encounters. Now that we're getting towards the halfway point, I gotta remind myself what a shiny Registeel looks like, so I gotta go find clips of, like, people finding shiny Registeel and Emerald, just to remind myself what it looks like. But yeah, motivation videos and things like that. Finding ways to motivate yourself are huge. So yeah, just, yeah, whatever you send, it's much appreciated. I will most likely be taking a look at it after stream. Hell yeah, just sent it your way, and also there's no worries about enjoying your time outside, dude. Yeah, I keep reminding myself that. Like, I think the big thing is I set my schedule for the week on, like, Sundays. And I think this week I did it a little early, but I set my schedule on Sunday, and I commit to those times that I set, unless there's, like, an emergency, like, thing that came up that I, like, if it was, like, a work shift switch or something, I will, outside of that, I'll usually adhere to my schedule. So I'll have, like, friends say, like, hey, do you want to go do this thing? And I'm like, I can't. I've already committed to my stream. Because I think if I do too much rescheduling where I, like, commit to a time and I consistently, like, change the time or, like, cancel a stream because something comes up that is just, like, would be more fun to do. I've been saying no to it more often, and I feel like my friends have been, like, very receptive to that too, where it's like, oh, well, he committed to this stream, he's clearly committed to it. So I think the big thing is just making sure that I'm enjoying what I'm streaming, and at this point, like, I am. I truly am enjoying what I'm doing right now on stream, which is, I think, the biggest thing. I think the Registeel hunt is, like, starting to get old, but I also have to remind myself that like I've done way harder hunts than this, and that if I want to keep shiny hunting on the stream in some form, because that is what the channel started as. So as long as I'm doing one of these a week, that adheres to what my original audience found me for. But also, shiny hunting, dude. Like, I don't know, I enjoy it. I'm built to do it, I think is the big thing. When the weather is beautiful, gotta take advantage of it. Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially, like, weather in the Twin Cities is great because it doesn't get, like, it still gets humid, but it doesn't get as humid as, like, middle US and, like, south US. We get more of the air quality warnings just from, like, wildfires in Canada, but that's only been the last couple summers. We haven't hit wildfire weather yet. Which is like a crazy thing to say, that wildfires are just now a regular factor in weather. I don't know, maybe we got through enough wildfires the last couple summers that maybe they're not going to be as bad this year. But there are literally days where they're like, yep, the air quality is too bad, we cannot go outside today. And that shit's always jarring when I hear it. But we're cruising tonight. We're already 400 encounters deep. And we're only 2.5 hours of the way. We might actually get our goal of 625 before the 4-hour mark, which would be huge if we could. More than I'm thinking about it now. I'm in the South, so humidity kicks our ass hard. Yeah, I lived in Dallas for 2 years, so and then I lived in Missouri for like 4 years during college. So I'm very familiar with southern heat and humidity. That shit is no joke. I feel like I was just getting acclimated to it, and then I moved back to the Twin Cities. And then we had like the worst snowstorm in forever, and I was like, oh, gotta reacclimate. Or it was like the most snow received. It was the 4th most snow received in a winter, and it was just brutal to move back to. One more check-in before EP time. Chopin, thank you for the check-in. Raffle, I like the daily PP up thing you do. I gotta find something similar to that because I like that model. It's also like a very easy way for people to like say, hey, I'm here, without like having to type out anything as well. I don't want to like directly copy it though. I want to find something that like makes sense for my stream. Folks, we got a wild Bellsprout in chat. Best ball is probably, you can use like a Pokeball. The Nest Ball's a good option because it's got 2 evolutions past its stage, so let me see if I have it. Check. I do have it. I'll throw a Nest Ball. How about that? It's also a fairly light Pokemon, so I think a Feather Ball would also be good as well. So a bunch of homies I have met had daily redeems like that, but everyone does it a bit differently. Well, I like the model of like keeping track of how many they've gotten, because it's literally like, oh, this is how many streams this person is tuned into. So I like that model. It's a good setup. Some people make it to where the redeems can count towards other channel redeems, but I've never been able to get that part set up, but I figured out a way to make it integrated in my channel uniquely. Yeah, I mean, just the model of being like, oh, you have this many PP ups. This keeps track of literally how many times you've been in stream. And I think that's a, like, it's a better alternative to the stream streak thing that Twitch recently started doing, where if you watch for a certain amount of time, or if you go back and watch a clip or something like that, this way the PP up is almost just like a, oh, you were here live for this stream, even if it was just for a second, to like go get your PP up. And I think that does way more for viewership than like maintaining a streak. Because if you like lose, if you have like a 60 stream streak and you've been watching a stream for so long, the pressure adds up of like, oh, if I miss a stream, like I'm gonna lose it all. And then it gets to the point where if you finally end up like missing a stream for whatever reason, then you just feel like, oh, I've lost my streak. I have no reason to keep tuning into this person. And I don't want people to feel that way. I don't want like a viewer like Stacks to come through and grab his like 50 stream streak or whatever it is and then lose it and then feel like, I have no reason to keep tuning in because I lost my streak. So I think the daily redeem is the best model to keep people tuning in. And I feel like I learn about all of these different, like, I don't want to say like tactics, but like bits. Because they're little, they're bits, they're inside jokes, they're like, they're things that make the channel unique that also encourage people, that also go towards encouraging people to tune in. Yeah, I'm starting to pick up on that too. Like, as someone who's maintaining streaks in a lot of streams right now, I'm very focused on making sure that I don't lose those streaks. Otherwise, I'm probably going to stop tuning into them. And I think the daily PP up is a good replacement for it, where it's like way less commitment to it, but just the same benefit of like still having people tune in. I just gotta find like what that redeem would look like for me. Raffle, do you use stream elements for a lot of that stuff? Because I'm currently in the process of like migrating all of my bot command stuff off of Nightbot towards stream element. So I want to know just what is possible and what's like what gets you towards the best success in that stuff. That is stream elements? Okay, cool. A bunch of other stuff is through StreamerBot? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I want to set something up. There's a lot of customization through stream elements that I really like, that I discovered when I was like reintegrating my shiny roll from Nightbot into stream elements, where I was like, oh, I don't know why I was so set on using Nightbot. I should have just been running through stream elements this entire time. The PP ups are through StreamerBot. Okay, cool, gotcha. That's good to know. I think I'm going to be moving towards that more in the future. I'm going to try to get off of Nightbot entirely. Because Nightbot has, like... I like Nightbot, but setting up commands and, like, different automated things is a lot harder, and there's a limit to the cooldowns you can do for them, for a lot of those, like, redeems and things. StreamerBot is a massive tool that I recommend, but there's a lot that comes with it, yeah. And I think that's kind of the big like me and Chopin have to sit down and like do another like workshop, because we do a lot of exchanging of like tools and tactics for our streams. So we got to do another sit down meeting. I think one of those meetings is probably going to be Stream Elements and StreamerBot. You could probably even dedicate just an entire like workshop to StreamerBot. But those have always been productive, so I'm looking forward to that. His schedule's going to free up too with the summer hitting, so it should be a lot easier. I did make my overlays through Stream Elements. That was pretty dope. That's cool. I've always been doing mine, well, I do a lot of it directly through OBS, but like if there's anything custom that I need to make, a lot of it is literally just through Photoshop. But that's because I'm stubborn. All of the emotes that I've made have been through Photoshop in their like timeline mode. And then you basically just do a bunch of like hand animation at that point. And a lot of the animation, like for any of the animated emotes, it's pretty simple because you've only got 2 frames. But I know with the Q emote that I have, that one is like 16 frames. So that one, like, I don't know, there's a lot of animation that you have to do. A lot of cells that need to be made when you're doing anything to that level. But I'm sure there are better applications to do it on. I'm just stubborn. But yeah, every overlay I've made, it's all been like... all of it's through OBS for the most part. I'm trying to think of anything that I didn't make in Photoshop or OBS, but a lot of it's just done here. And then anything that's like I know this frame that I'm using, this was just like lassoed from Pokemon Coliseum sprite resources, and then I just made the frame based on that. It's jank as hell, but it works. In about 15 minutes, we're going to switch off of the playlist music, and then we're going to go in-game music for the last hour. Which is actually going to align pretty close with our final ad break. But, dude, the fact that you make your own emotes is killer. I've spent upwards of 20 hours sitting down staring at different apps and programs to make emotes, and I just throw my hands up. Dude, I've been there so many times with, like, just anything regarding streams in general. That's me with, like, Twitch bots and, like, setting up streamer bots. Like, I don't know the first thing about doing any of that stuff. So, yeah, I totally feel you on that. I think just with the extensive background I have with Photoshop, that's been like the thing that's gotten me through anything that I've struggled on. It's like, all right, if I can do this through Photoshop, I can do anything. And that's I've kind of strong-armed my way through things that like it takes me way longer to do it in Photoshop than like what I should be doing it through, but it's the only way I know how to do it. So I'm stubborn. But I'm about to catch some Z's. I hope you have a good rest of stream, brother. I'll see you super soon. Raffle, Thank you for tuning in. It's always good to chat with you. Appreciate you stopping in, and hopefully you get a run soon in Emerald Kaizo. When's your next stream, by the way? Oh, and we've hit our beeps for stream. That was Chosen's redeem earlier. Chosen, I hope you're still here. We found your beeps. That was 7,329 seconds on those beeps. Chosen, we found your beeps. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're still gaming. But yeah, otherwise, Raffle, thanks for hanging out. Get some sleep. I'll see you on the next one. Yeah, man, I think sub 4 hour Registeel is going to be possible today. I just have to not get distracted at any point in the next, like, hour 15. Oh, God. Excuse me. But yeah, my goal tonight, I think after we wrap up stream, 1, make sure we raid out, as always. And then 2, I want to make sure that I am staying productive. As long as I'm getting something done after stream, I think that's the big focus. Because I don't have, aside from sleeping, I don't have any other obligations or things that I need to do after stream. So, I don't know, I just gotta make sure I'm doing something productive before I go to bed. Probably just gonna be setting up for the town hall tomorrow. Or making sure I've got all my ducks in a row for that. So I gotta make sure OBS is set up to actually record that meeting too. I think that was the one thing that I struggled with last year's meetings, is that the recording was there, the audio was all there, but for whatever reason I wasn't streaming the thing that I wanted to record. So I have to just keep a monitor completely open to just record that. I gotta check my overlays and see what I have built for it, and we'll go off of that. One of these days, I think we're gonna do a longer Regi stream. It just doesn't feel like it's gonna happen this summer. Because, I don't know, there's gonna be a lot of weeks where I'm just not gonna stream at all. Or, I'm gonna be doing something for an entire week instead of hunting for Registeel. Or it's gonna be like Safari Week, where it's a week dedicated to hunting stuff other than Registeel. So I think if I'm gonna make it happen, I gotta make it happen in June. Where I just say, fuck it, let's do let's do a 10-hour Reggie stream. Or it would probably do like 10 hours would be safe. 10 hours would give us breaks between. That would give us enough time to like take breaks where we need them. But I would like to get a stream where we put in like 1,250 Reggies in a night. Because, I mean, mathematically, it's more likely that we find a Reggie steal on those nights compared to like a 625 regular stream. So, theoretically, the more of those that I do, the more likely I am to find the Reggie steal. Part of me also wants to, like, I want this hunt to go... Okay, I want the hunt to end, right? But I know as soon as I find the Reggie steal and I catch it, then we're immediately just moving on to Ribbon Master stuff, and I don't want that... I don't know. I don't have a stream... I don't have a shiny hunt waiting in the wings, ready to go, you know? And this Reggie steal hunt's been very nice. It's like the encounters go by super quickly. The runaways are way faster than the soft resets. I think theoretically, after Safari Week, we can just continue hunting for Dragonair. Like, we could just do a continuation of the fishing stream. And that could be our once-a-week hunt replacement for Reggie steal. We could go back to Roaming Suicune. Roaming Suicune is something that could easily slot in while we're waiting for a new hunt. I know people have been asking for that. I know Carb Kaiser's been asking for it a little bit. People want to see Suicune come back. It'd be nice to have Rich come back. Scarecrow could even tune in for a little bit. Get some of the roamer streamers back to hang out. Okay, maybe I guess I'm not as worried about running out of hunts. There's just so many hunts that we can do. The Dynamax adventures could come back. Dynamax DA Zygarde hunts would probably come back. We would just need enough people to... I think if we just had, like, at least one other person for it, to be able to do it. I still remember the path. The path is fun because it's... You run through, like... You, like, pick up... No, you start with a wide guard user right off the bat, and then you go pick up... You beat, like, Passimian, or it's like a rock-type Pokemon, I can't remember what. And then you go pick up Dragonair, and then you pick up Octillery. And then you have the Fake Tears Pokemon, or the Acid Spray Pokemon. Yeah, I am, I'd love to get back into that. I think, honestly, if there's anything I can do after stream tonight, aside from, like, the Town Hall stuff, just start grinding Dynite Ore. I've talked about it during these Registeel streams, because, like, I feel like these streams are, like, my moment to vent about all the things that I know I'm not doing to be productive outside of streams. It's like, oh, if I weren't streaming right now, I'd be doing this. Yeah, just grinding Dynite Ore. If I grinded 10 Dynite Ore a night for a month, that's basically 3 streams worth of Dynite Ore to do Dynamax adventures. With the current setup that we have for Zygarde, which, you know, the goal is to beat Zygarde. Even in, like, preparation for that, with the seed we currently have, I could even write up little graphics saying, like, okay, if you are this user, take this Pokemon. And those kinds of things, just to make for newcomers, it would make it a lot easier for them to pick up the path that we use to get Zygarde, because the path we are using is truly the best path I have ever found for taking on Zygarde. Because as long as you have one guaranteed Wide Guard user and you have one or two Acid Spray users, you can absolutely decimate Zygarde with little to no effort, or little to no, like, failure. It's truly amazing. Alright, chat. I'm going to run one more set of ads here. This should be our last set of ads for stream. If the pace is what I think it looks to be, we are going to be at 56:25 sooner than you know it. We're actually going to be reaching it before sub 4 hour. So my goal is to run some ads now. That way, by the time we get back from the ads, we're on our final hour of the stream. And then we can go in-game music for the rest of it. So I'm going to run 3 minutes of ads here, chat, and then once those run, we will have no ads for the rest of the stream, and we should be hitting our goal number right near the end of the 4 hour mark. So, going to run those ads now. Appreciate y'all sticking around. Go do what you need to do, get some water, run to the bathroom, get some snacks, do what you need to. And I'll see you guys after the ad break. Got 10 seconds left on the ad. I'm gonna go ahead and switch the audio now. We're just gonna go ahead and pause that. Then we go to the Elgato. Crank this up to -15. Beautiful. Alright. Audio should be electric now. Folks, welcome back from Eds. We are now on in-game music. Enjoy. Appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. This has been a blast. These REGI Steel streams have become my opportunity to yap about things that are on my mind, and I appreciate y'all joining in and listening quietly. I feel like compared to all the other stuff that I stream nowadays, everything else seems a lot more active and like me focusing on the game that's being played rather than on chat. So to have these shiny hunting streams back, which were kind of the main flagship thing of the channel, to have these back is kind of a breath of fresh air, where it's like, alright, if I'm doing the unknown hunt, I'm kind of locked in for that. But to have just a basic single system hunt to do in the background to kind of mindlessly do has been really nice. It's almost kind of an opportunity for me to clear my head and just do something that's mindless while also, like, you know, still streaming, being productive. And of course, having a Celsius to drink while I'm doing it has definitely gotten me very yappy during these, which is good. The caffeine dependency, not so much, but like, you know, the actually being somewhat engaging on stream has helped too. I haven't used the actual Game Boy as a controller in a really long time. I feel like the last couple REGI Steel streams I've been using the Wavebird. So it's a nice return to form. I gotta start getting in the habit of operating 2 Game Boys soon, because once we get to Safari Week's gonna be a left hand, right hand on Game Boys kind of hunt. And I have not practiced that in a really long time, so we'll see how that goes. I remember the first Safari fishing stream when I did that. I remember being so, like, overwhelmed that I, like, could barely keep up with chat because I was so focused on making sure I was hitting the right inputs for the fishing. I feel like that's what the first stream's gonna be like for Safari Week this year, but I'm gonna correct it pretty soon. So I remember after, like, the first stream, I think the second stream of Safari Week, I was like, oh, I've got a hang of this. I should be fine. So I think it's just gonna be a quick relearn, get reaccustomed to this, and then I'll be fine for Safari Week. But you know what I like to see? No dropped frames tonight. That is what makes me the happiest. We got a wild Munchlax in chat. I think I have one of these. Let me find out. Poke a catch. Let's do an Ultra Ball. No, we'll do a repeat ball. That's what we do for things we already have. Munchlax is best caught in a basic ball because it's a normal type. It's not remarkably heavy or light. You can probably get away with just running a Pokeball. Obviously, if you want to go up to an Ultra Ball if you don't already have it, that'd be good too. And then always remember to use the repeat ball if you already have it. Because I certainly forget. Also, folks, if you have a friend ball, depending on what Pokemon you have marked as your friend in the PCG, that determines that can increase your catch rate if you use a friend ball. So, like, for example, I think my friend Pokemon in the PCG is Fortress. So every time a bug or a steel-type Pokemon appears, if I use a friend ball, I get the 80% chance to catch it. And with the repeat ball, we got it. I don't think I would ever use a stone ball on a normal type because I've got... I think normal stones are the ones that I have the most of in the PCG. Mainly because every time I see a normal flying Pokemon, I try to use the stone ball to get the flying stone. And I always end up getting the normal stone. I gotta check out the PCG sometime soon. I'm not gonna check it tonight, because as soon as I check out Demon Rider stream, I'm gonna be sucked into it. And then I'm not gonna be productive. But yeah, I think my plan after stream tonight is 1, raid out. 2, get everything squared away for the town hall tomorrow. And then 3, get my shield file set up to do some Dynite Ore collection. And then I can slowly start to build that reserve of Dynite Ore up again for those hunts. I'm also heavily considering just setting up a file for a new file on my old Switch, and maybe using that just to like team up and do the Zygarde raids for, because maybe that's just the solution. Whereas like I can build up a ton of Dynite Ore on that system, and then as soon as I get the shiny on my Switch 2, then I can try to get another Zygarde or something built up on my other file. I gotta learn how that shit works. I haven't messed with the Dynamax Adventures in a really long time. But double switching it might be the solution, especially if I can't find people to tune in for it anymore. But yeah, we've been absolutely cruising tonight. No extended breaks. I think the longest break we had was maybe the 5-minute countdown at the beginning stream into like intros and stuff. Outside of that, it's just been like 3 or 4 minutes between ad breaks. Nothing crazy. And I'm like never gonna be this focused on a Reggie Seal hunt. So I usually find things to distract me while I'm doing these. So we're actually going to be finishing probably before midnight, by the looks of it. $56.25 is our end number tonight. Yeah, we'll raid somebody else who's shiny hunting tonight. I haven't really tuned into many other shiny hunting streams in a while. The main streams that I've been keeping up with have been either just variety streamers that I follow specifically for the personalities, or it's been Ironmon, like Kaizo streamers, just to see how their runs are going. But yeah, it'll give me an opportunity to raid out to somebody who shiny hunts exclusively. Thought I saw Mango Man. Mango Man was live. Mango Man would be a fun one to tune into. It depends. We'll see who's live. I remember I raided somebody the other day who was shiny hunting that I hadn't like raided or interacted with their channel in a while. And I went in, sent the raid, and they're like, "Oh, how's the unknown hunt going?" And I'm like, "Oh, shit, I haven't tuned in a while then. We finished that in September." It's like, "Oh, damn, congratulations." But yeah, that'll happen. Chat, I think the really cool thing is that we're 15 followers away from hitting 300 followers. I think that's another thing. I'm going to write that down now, because after stream today, I'm going to get a new follower goal set up. That way I don't forget about it. I'm just gonna have it written down. This was I gave this note to Chopin. We were just talking about like, okay, how do I be more productive after a stream? And I think that's something that I struggle with a lot too, is finding ways to like, if I don't have something that's immediately happening after stream, if I don't have something that's like immediately happening after stream, then what am I about to say? Then I'll usually like just burn out or just like decompress, which like is important to do after a stream. But we're trying to find ways to be more productive after stream, and like with Chopin specifically, he's been trying to raid out more. Which he, I don't know, has just found a tendency to not do based on the game that he's playing. But oh no, I see your YouTube message, Nando. Give me one sec. Get this one out of the way. Did Mike tell you he's in for Thursday? What's going on Thursday again? This is the movie, right? Back something. Back rooms. I still need to buy the tickets for that. That's another thing I'm gonna do after stream. Buy tickets for back rooms. Cool. Thought I forgot something. We said the 7-10 one, right? Was it this week or was it the... Was it this week or was it the following week? I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting. Three days? Okay, cool. Okay, that'll affect my stream times on Thursday then, but yeah. I was already planning on streaming at 1 anyway, so it works out. Right, because you'll already be out of time by then. Okay, so that's another thing I need to do after stream. So it's 1, buy the tickets for that movie. 2, get follower goals set so that we're on a path towards 300 followers. 3, get ducks in a row for Town Hall tomorrow. And then 4, Die Night or Farming. And then go to bed. If you're the fastest to eat 4 burgers, you get $100. Ooh. Into a movie? I'm gonna hate the movie if I have to do that beforehand. Is that at Burger Dive? Am I able to know what the best time is going into it? Do I have to eat the fries with it? Or the chips or whatever? Or is it just the burgers? Do I get water? I won't be able to beat the guy? Who's the guy? There's a guy who does this? Is there just like a local Joey Chestnut that comes in to win $100? We'll talk more about this too, but like, that's crazy. Do I have to buy the burgers? Like, if I, let's theoretically say, oh, he's a 300-pound bodybuilder. Alright, whatever. I guess there's a sense of training that does go into, like, pounding 4 burgers, but he's won 3 of the last 4 years. Oh, jeez. Is it just a standard burger, or what's the... Is it... Do I have to have cheese on it? That's, I guess, another factor. Are these, like, full... Like, I don't know. We'll talk about the specifics, but... Because, I mean, it is just $20 if they're $5 burgers. I suppose that's fine. 1 house, 1 mushroom, 1 onion, 1 wedge. Interesting. Okay. I'm a fan of speedrunning. I'll take a look at the menu. I'm curious now. Finish in less than 10 minutes and 29 seconds to get swag. Makes sense, because it's at 10:29, right? Oh, I just have to place 3rd to get money? Oh, okay. Wait, oh, hang on, we can do this. If I start prepping now, we should be fine. Do I have to eat them as a burger, or can I, like, dunk the buns in water and then eat those separately? Because I think that's what makes a burger so filling, is the fact that you're eating it as a sandwich, right? So if I theoretically, I've said theoretically so many times on the stream tonight, if I were to eat it as separate components, all within 10 minutes and 29 seconds, that would be worth it. I don't think they care, honestly. Okay, cool. Got an angel number coming up. Yeah, I'll look up the items and see if I think I can do this. Are they quarter pounders, third pounders? What kind of burgers are they? How big are these? Two 3-ounce patties, so 1.5 pounds total. Oh, wait, really?
Oh boy, smooching time!
Oh boy, smooching time! AG Kuma, thanks for the follow. Love the Froki emote. How you doing? Oh, wait, it's 1.5 pounds per sandwich? Oh, fuck that. Just chilling, just hanging around. Bored AF. All good, all good. Well, luckily you found us. We are going to be wrapping up here. Once we hit 56:25, we will be wrapping up stream. It's kind of a quick one today. We've been very efficient with our REGI stealing. But glad to catch you for a little bit. So it's 2 3-ounce patties on one burger? So you're saying the 4 burgers are 1.5 pounds total? Okay, so if one sandwich has... Yeah, if one sandwich has 2 3-ounce patties, that's 6 ounces. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking for a second, I thought that, I thought it was 12 ounces in a pound for a second, and I realized I was wrong. I was like, wait, that just sounds like 3 burgers. No, makes sense. So wait, just 1.5 pounds of meat and then buns? That's a piece of cake. That I can mentally and physically prep for. Do you know how fast this bodybuilder's time is on this challenge? Like, do you know what his times roughly were the last 3 times he's won? I'm trying to work toward a number. Because, like, it's one thing to just aim for 1029. But if he's aiming lower than that, I want to, like, set better expectations. But I heard he was 2 minutes ahead of the next guy. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll just aim for, like... That sounds like he's doing it in, like, 6 minutes. Because my goal was going to be, oh, let's just aim for, like, 8.5 minutes. And that seems like a good enough time where you're, like, 2 minutes ahead of 10:29. I also have no idea what I'm getting into, and I might be way too overconfident about this, but... we'll see. Also, is that roommate Mike, or is that, Mike Burke that is down for Thursday? Burke? Okay, cool. Then I will purchase his ticket, because otherwise it was just going to be adding Mike to the entourage, because he's already an AMC A-lister. AG Kuma, I couldn't remember, are you, do you do any shiny hunting? If so, what are you hunting right now? Indeed. Yes. Okay. I remember right then. 5% Riolu in Challenger's Cave. Oh, right. I remember this. I think. That's a big challenge. Challenger's Cave. So that is that Sword and Shield? The name sounds like a place in... Oh, it's in Black and White. Black and White Challenger's Cave. Huh. Wow, I really haven't played Black and White in a while. Yeah, 5% Riolu. I feel like it's always been very difficult to find Riolu in the wild. In every game it's been available in the wild. Nearing the end here, folks. We got about 34 more Regiseals before we wrap up. appreciate everybody hanging out, though. This is gonna be our first sub 4-hour Reggie Steal in like a really long time. Carpcars are rolling at 12:08. I feel like these streams have always been going for like 4 hours, 20 plus minutes long. And we just stayed very efficient today. There was no like extended break in the middle either. It was good, solid hunting. We got a wild huntail in the chat. See if I have one of these. I don't, or I do, so we're gonna throw a repeat ball. Chat, I would recommend a netball works well. Its speed is nothing to write home about, so you can't do a fastball. The heel ball doesn't work either. Just remember to account for the types that you have available in your friend slots for the friend ball. And if you already have it in your decks, be sure to throw a repeat ball. Otherwise, be strategic with your quick balls and timer balls as well. But the net ball is the go-to for this one. Cat wins, we are in the cuck chair for the second time this year. Yeah. That's okay, though. I don't think the Knicks are going to win the whole thing. They are going to get a very battered team out of the West. However, I think the West is just far superior at basketball than any team in the East right now. That it's like, I don't know. The Knicks are there because they are clearly the best team in the East. But, it's San Antonio or Oklahoma City to lose. If anything, I think New York's gonna have too much rest, and that'll be kind of that'll hurt them a little bit. But I'm sure their recovery time is gonna be great. But I mean, I'd root for Cat. I don't really care about the a player leaves us and then they win a championship after leaving us. Unless it's a player that I don't like, that I don't want to see succeed. I think that's different. But like, I want to see Cat succeed, so I don't really care. How can Reggie Steele fly? He's got jet boosters underneath where his legs would be if he had legs. Instead, he just has the stumps. It's the same way that Golard can fly. See, yeah, those little nubs that it has, those are just rocket propulsors. Did I say that right? Yeah. They're rocket boosters, dude. I do think it's very funny that the Reggies get the same text that Rayquaza gets. Because the text was written for Rayquaza, who actually just flies away. And then they just copied that text for Groudon, Kyogre, and all of the Reggies. And I think it's very funny. Groudon is too much. Nah, I believe in Groudon. Groudon flies with his pure anger. His pure anger is what fuels his ability to fly. And then Kyogre has wings, so it's okay. Its fins, its arm appendages function as wings, so it's okay. Of all of them, it's probably the most aerodynamic outside of Rayquaza. Swimming is just water flying, and water flying is Gyarados, so... Exactly, we're on the same page here, Karkaizu. The only one that I know cannot fly is Regice. That's not allowed. Regice, not allowed to fly. Registeel has a reason. Regirock has a reason. Regice cannot fly. I do not believe it. The only ice-flying types that exist are birds. And, Regice is not a bird, so therefore it cannot fly. But, we've proven that rock types do not need to be birds to fly. So therefore, Regirock is able to fly. Because Minior is not a bird, so therefore, and so the fact that Minior can fly proves that rocks can fly. So, Regirock can fly. Chat, we are coming up on the end of the hunt for the evening. Once we hit 5625, we are done for the night. And we are on pace to finish it before the 4-hour mark, which I believe is the first time we've ever been able to do that. So hats off to me, hats off to y'all for being part of it. We will be live on Thursday. I currently have it set for us to be live at 1 p.m. I think I'm going to move that time up to noon to account for plans on Thursday. So we're going to move that startup time to noon. I will be reflecting that in the graphics for this week, so I'm going to repost the updated times. So we'll be starting at noon. I don't think it's going to affect anything too much. It just means we're going to be live an hour earlier than usual. And then we might cut either Kaizo or Winnie the Pooh. I don't know which one we're going to do. I think I might cut Winnie the Pooh for the week and then just do double Kaizo. That might be the best solution. Just because I know I'm not going to be able to do Winnie the Pooh for 5 hours this week. So I'd rather dedicate more time to just doing Kaizo stuff Thursday and Friday. Five more Regis, folks. 5 more Regis. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. It's always good to get some familiar faces and old friends tuning in for these streams. We will be live again on Thursday. If you want updates on those go live times, be sure to follow on. Join the Discord. Discord is linked below, next to all the other socials. So be sure to follow there. And then the schedule channel is where we post all of our updates on that, and as well as our go lives. So be sure to tune in that. But yeah, next stream is Thursday at noon, where we're gonna be doing some Kaizo. Alright, chat. Last REGI steal. Right under 3 hours and 46 minutes. And it is not shiny. And that is where we are going to wrap. Chat, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Let's go ahead and find somebody to raid out to before we send y'all off. I want to find somebody who's shiny hunting. So that's what we're going to aim for. Doesn't look like Mango Man's live anymore. Sabian's doing Platinum Kaizo. And Shine Patrol's doing some GBA insert hunts. That's fun. Unfortunately, I'm looking for somebody who's shiny hunting right now. Okay, if I go to recommended raids, what does it tell me to do? Well, I wanted to find somebody who is shiny hunting, but I'm not able to find doing that. Why don't we hit up, there's a stream called Oak Kaizo that is doing Emerald Kaizo Ironmon. I think we're gonna hit them up. Oak Kaizo. Let's go ahead and get some hype built up towards that, folks. They are doing Kaizo Ironmons in chatting. 201 plus encounters in Pokemon Emerald, and this looks to be a Nat Dex one. So we'll go ahead and get a raid started for that. Folks, thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll go ahead, hit that start raid button. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be back live Thursday at noon for some Kaizo Ironmon. I will, until then, I'll be eagerly awaiting that evening. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I'll see you on the next one. Send some hype towards Oak Kaizo, and have a good night. Peace!